Previously on Pop Culture Vulture.
Flame on, flame on, and on, flame on, flame on, flame on, yeah, flame on.
Sugar! Just think, with repeat business like that, I could eventually be supplying propane galaxy-wide.
Now back to PCV. Okay. It's a little hard to talk about this series without discussing some backstory first. In the late 90s, comics were at a weird state. The industry was dying and creators were trying to make everything edgy and hip and dark. And this show carried that on. Oh my god, everyone looks so weird. Look at what they did to my boy Vision. And look at Hawkeye. He looks like a bigger dork than he already was. Oh, and you see these suit-up scenes? They repeat that every episode. Really gives you an idea how little everyone cared. It takes itself way too seriously, more so than it needs to. Oh god. Is this the Lunatics Unleashed of Marvel? Oh my god, Lynn Kirby didn't die for this. At least its evil reign didn't last long. Only for 13 episodes. X-Men Evolution, I was pretty skeptical. X-Men as high schoolers? Usually when your AIDS character is down, it doesn't really end up well. But here, it actually works. The themes of being a mutant and even an X-Men is all about chains and having others and even yourself accept who you are. And that really fits with being a teenager / young adult. Plus, having them younger gives us more opportunities to see them grow more as characters. Unlike the majority of the movies! I really appreciate the changes they made. It makes it unique. But there are some I'm not totally on board with, especially with making Rogue a goth. Like, come on guys, what was wrong with her before? I don't know, I just end up really liking the show. I guess you could say it went through my expectations. You may not know this, but there was a Spider-Man show on MTV in 2003. This is because it only lasted for 13 episodes due to low ratings. Which is a real shame because it's pretty awesome. Neil Patrick Harris does the voice of Peter and he does a really good job at it. What also makes this interesting is that it follows the Sam Raimi trilogy, with it taking place between Spider-Man 1 and 2. And the strangest thing about it is that Michael Clark Duncan plays Kingpin. Does that mean the Sam Raimi trilogy takes place in the same universe as the 2003 Daredevil movie? Oh my god, can you imagine these guys met? I want to see that universe! Film theories aside, this has to be one of my favorite MTV animated shows. Right up there with Clone High and Beavis and Butthead. So yeah, I do highly recommend this. Alright, I actually remember watching this one on Cartoon Network. It's French-based animation that reflects on anime style. Like a lot of shows of this time period. Yeah, even as a young lass, I didn't like this very much. Only sometimes do people look cool, other times they look so weird and skinny. It even does those stupid anime lines or those stupid title cards. It reminds me of watching Murder Mysteries. It does have cameos going on for it, but this show's presence annoys me. It's too much of an eyesore. That's it, we're moving on. Now, I had high expectations for Spectacular Spider-Man because everyone raves about it. Everywhere I went, people online talked about how great of a show it was. And so I started to watch it, and not even 2 episodes in, and I could tell this is the best Spider-Man cartoon of all time. Yeah, the cutesy art style threw me off for a second, but it quickly grew on me. These redesigns are really cool looking, especially with Electro and Lizard. And of course Doc Ock looking so cute instead of creepy. And I have to say, that points out this series' main prominent strengths. That is being a faithful adaptation but still doing its own original thing. It's so fresh, but dare I say it's so spectacular. I also have to point out the voice cast. James Arnold Taylor, Steve Bloom, Clancy Brown, D. Bradley Baker, Jim Cummings, John DiMaggio. Wow! This is a very impressive animated voice cast. And of course they all bring their A game here. I'm really starting to like this series. I'm so glad I can enjoy its 25 out of originally planned 65 episode. Wait, what? While the third season was just beginning to be put into production, Disney made the famous decision of buying Marvel. But Sony owned the movie and TV rights to Spider-Man, and thus a bunch of legal bullcrap happened and the show was cancelled before its time. But hey, never say never. We never thought we'd get Spidey in MCU, but here we are now. God, I love this series. I'm gonna go watch it some more, even though it's not the complete series. This is another show I have memory of because it aired on Nickelodeon's Nicktoons network. That was like their cool and edgy sister channel. And admit it, when given the chance, we watched that more than the main channel. Iron Man Arm Adventures has Tony Stark as a teenager, kind of like how X-Men Evolution was. And I don't like that at all. The reason why aging Tony down does not work is because he's better as an adult in charge of a company and dealing with the ethics of that. And let's face it, seeing Tony Stark in a school setting probably wouldn't be very kid-friendly, if you know what I mean. I would at least expect Raji Dangerfield to be there. It does have some positives though, like its awesome theme song. And I have not seen any 9/11 injury yet, so that's great in my book. Now this is what Avengers cartoon should be like. It's more of a faithful adaptation of their early 60s stories and style, and I love it. It's bright, fun, has great character development, and a great voice cast. Such as having Steve Bloom as Logan and D. Bradley Baker as Reed Richards. Oh, did I forget to mention X-Men and Fantastic Four make appearances? Well, they do, and it's awesome. It's what Avengers cartoon should be like. Avengers Assemble takes inspiration from two things: the movies and fanfiction. And I really have to emphasize on that last part because this show can get pretty weird and even really funny. Also, I just really love the homoeroticism between Steve and Tony.
You want to survive, you gotta change with the times.
Spend a few decades frozen in ice, then we can talk about survival.
Sir, I believe you would call that a burn.
If any of the math looks complicated, that's because it is.
It looks nice when they're like standing still, but the animation is pretty bad. Hey, bad animation, but still fun dialogue. We came full circle. A lot like Avengers Assemble, Guardians of the Galaxy is mostly based on the movies, with it actually having the same art style and animation. Except the designs are a bit weirder and off here. God, that CG is crappy. Despite that, this is a fun show, and I have to point out that it uses licensed music in almost every episode. Huh. You really don't see that a lot in cartoons, do you? They make references to songs, which really does fit. Every episode title is even named after a song. I have to admit, that's really cute. I like that. Seth Green reprises his role as Howard the Duck. What more can you want? And now we came to the latest Marvel cartoon, Marvel's Spider-Man. And it sucks. Okay, I'm probably being too harsh here. It's still going on, so it can't improve over time, but okay, what's so wrong with it? Well, it tries too hard, especially with Peter. I know he's a science kid, but please, tune it down. It also looks like Ben 10 mixed with Voltron. Maybe if they just add more shading, it'll look better. In the meantime, I'm just gonna watch more Spectacular Spider-Man until it gets better, and I suggest you do the same. But at the end of the day, I don't regret watching it. In fact, I don't regret watching any of these cartoons. Yeah, some I didn't like, but others I was warmly surprised by, and I can't wait to watch more of it. And in case you're wondering, here's my tier list. And with that, that concludes my very special 2-part episode. If you guys have any more ideas what I should review next, let me know in the comments below. And until we meet again, stay gold.
Street of lights, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is